Hello and welcome to Retro 500, where I take a look at a retro game in 500 words. Give or take 10%. Let's go.
Ooh.
This is Gradius 3. What a mess. Yeah, you've got tight controls, challenging gameplay, and a fantastic soundtrack, but it's so incredibly unsexy. Nothing about this game stirs so much as a semi, and it doesn't even let you shoot a tanuki in the bollocks. Fortunately for Konami, they got it right 5 years later when they released Sexy Parodius. Today, we're looking at the Sega Saturn port. The Parodius series was my gateway into the world of shoot-em-ups, starting with the Parodius collection on the PS1. I had no idea what the game would be like, I just liked the cover art. Needless to say, I was blown away by how colourful and crazy the games were. Not that I was any good at them. Risque imagery has always been sprinkled throughout the Parodius series, from the crab lady in Parodius Da to the laughing mermaid in Gokujo Parodius. Sexy Parodius dials this up a fair bit, but it never gets outright pornographic, and it's no worse than an average Nicki Minaj video. From what I can gather, the game's plot revolves around Parodius regulars Tatsuke and Pentaru on a quest to get rich through an odd job business. Unlike earlier Parodius games, which play out as one continuous segment, stages are presented as standalone missions involving things such as collecting a certain number of coins or undressing a certain number of women. Sexy! Adding to the replayability, alternate stages are accessible depending on your success in certain missions. In one of many Konami self-nods, one stage is Dracula's Castle. Castlevania jingle included. In which you need to kill a certain number of mice before facing off against Medusa and her goofy head of snakes. Speaking of bosses, other than the big bollock tanuki, the bosses in Sexy Parodius are a bit lackluster compared to previous entries, but don't worry, many of them come back for a boss rush. The vibrant, detailed and well-animated backgrounds in the Parodius series have always impressed me, and this has also been cranked up to 11 here. There's so much on-screen activity that you can pause at almost any point in the game and see something weird going on, like this BDSM penguin, or the individually named bathtub ladies. Hello, Catherine! It's easy to see how much love and enthusiasm went into the game. In standard Parodius fare, the soundtrack mostly consists of wacky arrangements of classical music, because what wouldn't be more fitting music for a fight against a giant penguin with a urinal on its head than Entry of the Gladiators? There's a good and bad ending depending on whether you beat the last stage within the very tight time limit. Fail and Tatsuke will nick off with all the money while your team wallows in despair. Succeed, and he takes a cheeky death. And your team celebrate over his grave. Even if you're not into shoot-em-ups, this game comes highly recommended. Thanks to the automatic power-up mode, which starts you off exactly where you died, and infinite continues, the game is beatable by almost anyone. I only wish it came out in the West so my younger self could have been corrupted just a little bit more. Hey, thank you for watching this episode of Retro 500. If you enjoyed it, please consider doing us a follow on Twitch, You can also check out the rest of my YouTube channel for other reviews and highlights from my Twitch streams. If you agree or disagree, let me know in the comments, but please, all I ask is that you give the game a little play before you do so, just so nostalgia isn't taking over our thoughts. Till then, have a great day, thank you so much for watching, and take care.